Baller Scholar Podcast.
James Harden punched Jason Tate.
All right, so here we go.
How's Jason Tate doing right now?
Let's talk about our. Can I talk?
I got Steve really good on that.
Can I talk really quick?
Oh, I guess.
Yes, please.
Okay, here we are with our 2020-2021 season predictions. We're 3 games into the season, but here they are from when we filled them out a week ago prior to the season start.
And a lot has changed since then.
Except for
Yes.
half of mine.
But not our predictions.
I'm proud to announce
No.
that I like
My-
I actually
Just
cheat
Ja
on a lot of
Morant's
these
ankle
games.
health.
And the Cavs being 3-0.
All right, here we go. Let's talk
That
about
works
it.
for me.
Where do you guys want to start here? Do we want to...
Just tell us, what's something that catches your eye? Either someone, a prediction, or something maybe that you felt strongly about.
God.
Well, I'll tell you something that catches my eye.
Let's hear it.
Our good friend Brian over here.
Uh-oh.
Are we talking about that Finals MVP?
Well, no, we're not about the Finals MVP. I was going to get to that. But first, I was going to say Celtics at 4 as the 4 seed.
Yes.
And then you believe in them to make the NBA Finals,
Yes.
win
So-
the NBA Finals against the Lakers.
Mhm.
And not only that, but Kemba Walker,
Finals
arguably
MVP.
like the 4th option
Yeah.
by then, is going to be the Finals
If
MVP.
Andre Iguodala can win one.
So you have to think about
It's
it.
true.
Kemba
true.
Walker isn't a traditional 4th option. So
Yeah,
for me, I
Iguodala.
think with NBA Finals,
Andre
it's got to be someone who's
Iguodala.
consistent. So realistically, it'd probably be someone like Tatum. But a hot game, like if you have a hot game 7, you're winning the Finals MVP.
He's going to do that?
So for me,
I'm not laughing at
yeah,
you. Brian.
it's
Kemba's
a-
clutch.
it's
We
a-
all know
it's
that.
a bit of a
Everyone knows that.
biased
think you
pick
were.
on my behalf to pick the Boston Celtics as your NBA champions.
Mm-hmm.
But I think
I love it.
I think
Fucking bleed green, baby.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
We don't
but
pretend to be on
I had them
bias
at
on
the
this show.
4th seed just because I think I could see them struggling in the regular season a tad. But just, I don't know. I think once it comes to a 7-game series, they're not going to lose 4 games to a team in the playoffs. You know
Oh
what I
my
mean?
God.
The Celtics?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because I have them going to the
That's
finals.
a good point, Steven.
Well, I mean that's obviously what you I mean
Yeah.
you picked them,
Get
so like
owned.
that's what you're hoping for.
I-
I mean I'm obviously hoping for that too as a Celtics fan, but at the same time,
Oh my God. There's
This-
nothing I want to see
are
more
they going
than
to be able to do that
Celtics
against?
over
so
are they
for
gonna-
me-
can they do that against the Nets?
So for me,
And that's
right
honestly
now,
the only team I feel like they
right
couldn't
now
do it
you're
against.
watching Peyton Pritchard kind of flourish into a really good, fast peepee. You're
Long
watching
PP.
him kind of play a really, really nice role off the Celtics bench. Say he stays consistent where he's at right now. I'm not saying that he's better than, any of the other guards we have right now, but he's a very, very consistent guy off the bench. You have Teague, you have Smart, and you have fast PP.
He's a great draft pick.
One of those guys has to have at least a decent game a night. Then you get Kemba back.
Before you continue, I just want to say about Peyton Pritchard.
Yeah.
For this, as a Celtics fan, he's like the complete opposite of what we've been drafting recently.
Yeah.
Where it comes to like what we've been using, how we've been
Yeah.
using our draft picks,
Yeah. Yeah.
like Romeo,
Mhm.
Carson, Tremont,
You're
like
saying someone that
everyone.
plays and
Someone
makes
that
shots?
plays, makes shots,
He's
dribbles
playing,
the ball, can actually defend.
He's playing more than Jaylen Brown did in his first year.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
saying
Jalen-
like a good draft pick.
This was
A,
a
He's
a
great.
seemingly
He
good
looks like a
draft pick,
confident
Knock on
kid.
wood.
especially late. Yeah, knock on wood. Late
Yeah. First
later.
round.
Yeah. Naismith's played what 5 minutes total.
I know.
Uh,
So he was the
yeah.
14th. 14th.
Doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense to me.
So I mean, it
Listen,
makes no sense. But at the same time, he
well,
must
it
have like,
makes
a
no
great
sense to us.
training
It
camp.
We're not in the
something like
practice
that.
gym watching.
Yeah, exactly.
Peyton,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Peyton's flourishing
Yeah.
and making the most out of his time on the court. So think
But
about this.
but I disagree with what you're saying.
Just that it's enough to.
Yeah.
win
No.
the finals.
I'm not saying it's enough to win the finals. This goes against my Kemba Walker Finals MVP pick, but the Celtics have that $30 million in trade exception. Something could drastically change come then, and I think they're going to have to pull the trigger on something. And it could be a bad trade. It could be a good trade.
Potentially,
right now-
Al Horford, no. So potentially Aaron Gordon or LaMarcus Aldridge, both of which I don't feel like would be great fits.
Right now I kind of look more at
LaMarcus.
like I know I picked him as the Finals MVP, but say these guys pan out, you could use that $30 million exception. Throw Kemba to a team. I don't know how it works out.
James Harden.
Ugh,
Well, then
goodness
you're
gracious.
MVP, Finals MVP.
Gets
You know what'd be
He won't
crazy?
be on
You know
the
what'd be
team.
crazy? He gets traded to a contender.
Wins.
and
it.
wins the Finals
so
MVP
you
for
got-
the Nets
so you
or
get-
something.
So you get the Finals MVP
but not the
correct,
team.
but not the team.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm rooting for you, Bri.
I really, I hope you are. No, I can't go against them, but at the same time, I think with that 30 mil in the trade exception, I really think they could make something cool happen.
That's a good point.
And right now,
Yeah.
how they look, how do you guys feel about like a point guard depth chart of Smart, Teague, fast PP, and then eventually when Romeo comes back, he's another ball handler.
I don't like it.
You don't,
It's not enough,
but
dude.
that's rough. You
Wait,
know,
why-
you-
No, I know
what
it's
happened
rough.
to
I know
Kemba?
it's-
imagine they
Without Kemba, you're saying?
without
yeah,
Kemba,
I
they
mean, I
trade
just
for
don't.
someone else is what I'm saying. I don't know if it's a
Oh,
point guard. I don't know if
okay.
it's another ball
Okay,
handler,
yeah.
another backcourt
Yeah.
guy.
If they can get, I mean, I feel like they probably would end up getting a.
But right there with
Actually, I
those
don't know.
three, I'm not as uncomfortable as like I could be with
Yeah.
with trading your star point guard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like the
that's-
guards
that's
are in good
facts.
hands, and I think depending on how Tristan Thompson pans out, they could
Dude.
trade for an actual center that could help them, like my man, JV Jonas Valanciunas.
I wish.
We love him.
I wish.
I love him. But you know what I mean? It was a risky pick. And looking here, I don't really like the Heat at 3 anymore.
It's not out of the
you know,
question.
It's not out of the question. I don't like him as much. I think that could be flipped Celtics and Heat. 76ers, they take a drop for me. Like
You and
I
Josh.
like in projections. Yeah, I don't see them. Josh, you have them dropping to 7, and
Well, yeah, but
that's,
looking back at it, like
Josh has the
Wizards at
over-
6, that's a
What
little
are you-
bit. I mean, I really thought the Wizards were going to be better than how they look.
I have them at 8. Man.
Oh,
One
they
sec.
just got Russ had like a couple weeks of practice with them.
Yeah, I know.
We all have them making the
But Russell
playoffs,
just-
which is interesting.
It's-
Matt, why
it
do you
ba-
have them in the
yeah.
playoffs? What makes them attractive playoff team for you?
The Wizards?
Yeah,
I mean, it's just Russell Westbrook. I mean, if you
the
can.
best do on NBA history.
I mean, the Wizards are a better roster than the Thunder were, like his MVP season. I think we all thought going in that Westbrook is going to have a great year. Bradley Beal is going to play the same.
Well, it's not. I mean,
Like
so far, Russell's
Ryu
had a
hasn't
decent
played
year,
yet. Rui, whatever.
Yeah.
Bertans hasn't played well yet.
Denny's
And he's on a minute restriction still.
So we haven't. I don't think we've seen the best of the Wizards. I thought it was gonna be. I was gonna be like bold to have the Wizards over the Pacers, but it looks like we all have them in the same area. Pacers are coming out looking really good.
Yeah,
We all have the same 8 teams. Like we all agree on the top 8.
That's pretty interesting. I mean, it's
Uh,
not.
and the
to
tiers
me,
have
that's not
developed,
that-
like,
to
you
me, that's
see,
not that ridiculous
us-
because of the other teams.
Right. Well, and one like
playoffs.
Wizards and Pacers, we clearly have. It's like a tier down from the rest of the pack. Anyway, which I think is kind of an interesting
Yeah.
thing too.
Talk about your second seed Raptors. I really don't love that pick,
Listen,
but I feel like you just did it to make a point.
no, I believe in it. Well, they were the 2 seed last year.
I
I still
know.
think Chris Boucher feels like part of Surge. Norman Powell gets more minutes. Aaron Baines
Norman
is
Powell,
basically Marcus
aka
Gasol, but
Spies
better.
in disguise.
Nick Nurse is going to play him all 40 minutes. I mean, it's a regular season team. I mean,
But
I'm not
it's-
saying the Raptors are going to do well in the playoffs. Like I could see them; they could lose to the Wizards in a 7-game
Yeah.
series. But I think, like record-wise, they're not going to rest anyone. So I think the Nets drop a little bit, just like we saw. They're going to lose like games to the Grizzlies on like the second night of back-to-backs, and like the Raptors aren't going to have that problem. So that's my rationale.
Did they just lose tonight?
Yeah, the Nets lost
What was
to the Grizzlies.
5 points?
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I think the Raptors are, I can
Yeah.
talk myself into it. There's rationale behind it. Whether it'll happen, I don't know. Everyone else, I kind of single-handedly put them at like our fourth highest team.
Yeah.
No one else. No one bid on the Hawks.
Are we just
either.
talking the Eastern Conference right now, or should we?
We can move
Well,
on
that was just
if there's
because
nothing
of
you
the-
see.
I was pointing out like the
The Boston thing.
Right.
Everyone has Bucks 1 except for Scott.
Yeah, but Scott also
He had the advantage of 3
Let's put an
games.
asterisk next to Scott's name because he got to watch 3 games of the
okay.
regular season before making his pick.
I will say.
All of a sudden, the Warriors are not in playoff contention.
I will
but
say-
you picked them for the over/under. Talk about
Oh,
Oh,
it. Yeah,
that's
talk about it.
that's a great point.
Uh-huh.
Hang on, I'm getting
I
a
know, Brian,
lot
you
of
did the same
noise.
thing.
I'm getting a lot of noise.
Static.
ESPN ad is blasting in my ears right now. Hang on.
Maybe it's
Okay.
good for you, man. So you don't hear
Um,
this.
I will say, my Nets pick at number 1 was made before the season started. Dude, I was. Oh, Cam Newton just got benched. Brief.
Dude, I said that like fucking.
yeah, that was a while ago.
Stephon Diggs 3 touchdowns.
Does he really?
You're up.
I just feel really strongly about Kevin Durant probably being top 2 players in the league. And
Hey,
I don't think. I don't know if Kevin Durant is healthy. He's healthy. I don't know how much they'll be limiting him.
He was your MVP.
He was not my MVP.
You
Oh,
had
for
him
the
as
league,
top.
for the
Yeah.
league, for the league. I feel like he has a big comeback year.
For the whole league. I'm pretty sure that was my MVP. 2.
Oh yeah.
Am I right?
You had Anthony,
Anthony
Davis.
Davis.
Oh.
You had told me that day that was
Oops.
a risky one.
I
no
had
one
Kevin
else
Durant,
even
but I
put him
changed
top
it.
5.
Anthony Davis.
Yeah, but I could see it. He is like 30 and 10.
I bet you guys all put LeBron.
Of course.
Oh, of course, yeah. The guy who's averaging 20 points a game.
I didn't, but
Thank you.
the Sprite Cranberry guy, LeBron.
What is Bright
He's coming.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Nets are going 1, but
Well, we'll see. Spencer Dinwiddie tearing ACL.
brutal.
I think
we all
changes
just
that
talk about
significantly.
something. I know that this is getting off that topic. I'm sorry.
That's
No,
fine.
go ahead. We should.
But
move
let's
on.
just talk about something that we can all make fun of Matt for. The Lakers at 3.
yeah.
Oh,
Nuggets
Jesus
at 1, I think, is
Christ.
like crazier.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Nuggets at 1 is crazy.
No.
But the Lakers
Clippers
at
over
3
Lakers is crazier
Yeah.
than that.
just doesn't make sense.
It
Talk
makes
about
sense.
it.
The
Talk
Clippers
about
got worse. The Lakers got better.
Talk about it.
And you're trying to tell me that the Lakers are going to be down at 3.
Talk about it.
The Nuggets got
With
worse.
the Blazers
the Nuggets,
at 4.
The Nuggets didn't get any better. You can make arguments for worse. Lost Plumlee, lost Grant. Doesn't really make that much of a difference, obviously, but 1 seed. Come on.
I think the Lakers are similar with the Nets, where like I don't see AD and LeBron playing every game. And yeah, they have a good bench. I again, like I'm not saying the Lakers are not the best team in the West. They definitely are, but just from like a standing standpoint, I just see them dropping a little bit. Nuggets are not off to a great start. I think they're a great regular season team. One of my hot takes is they lose in the first round as a 1 seed.
That's interesting.
So I'm not like as high as you might think on them, but I think they're a good regular season team. Jokic like shows out. Jamal Murray's great. If Michael Porter Jr. takes another step up,
Yeah,
that's home
Steven,
of our intern.
home from
Actually,
Denver right now. Talk
yeah.
about it. What is it like out there?
I'm always rooting for the hometown team. You know, I love the Denver Nuggets. I actually live out there, just back home for the holidays.
I thought you live out there.
Well, what?
Thank you, Steven.
I like how he lives out there. Just like I'm with my cousins for 3 months. Yeah, he lives out there. I'm a permanent resident of Colorado.
I am a native Coloradoan, and I live out there, kind of doing my own thing.
Any hot singles in the Denver area, just shoot us a text message, and we'll try to figure out if Steven's a match for you on the next episode of the Baller Scholar podcast. Thank you.
You have to be really earthy, crunchy.
Earthy
you want to be
Crunchy,
with
you gotta
Steven.
like Fleetwood Mac and Jerry Springsteen,
Patagon-
Jerry
Very sp-
and Jerry Sandusky.
oh man! Wow. Huge Jerry Sandusky guy.
I think there's something that we need to talk about.
Yeah. Back to the
We got to
standings.
talk about the Houston Rockets and how we all have them at, I think, pretty different.
If they keep
places.
James Harden, do they make the playoffs?
So looks like Brian and Josh have them at the 8th seed. Matt and Scott,
Do we?
that's me.
we
Don't have them making the playoffs. Actually, Matt has them at 11. I have them at 10.
So no.
Yeah, I just feel like it's, I don't know, it's worth the bold prediction that Harden is either traded.
So you're thinking Harden gets traded?
Yeah.
Is that a consensus for all of us that Harden
Well,
will get traded?
To me,
No.
that does. To me,
Well, if he doesn't stop eating Happy Meals.
I think.
Going to strip
I think that
clubs.
You guys hear
I
that,
think he will be
Steven?
traded.
But
But
said Harden loves Happy Meals.
You fat Harden was going to be the thing you tell
So go
I
ahead.
think that even if he does get traded, they get a lot in return.
Yeah.
Another fudge
They
cake.
have John Wall. They have DeMarcus Cousins. They have Eric Gordon.
That's what.
They
Yeah.
have my personal favorite, Christian Wood.
It's playing great.
They have the pieces
You're right.
not to win a championship, but to make the playoffs. I think that an
DeMarcus-
8 seed isn't that ridiculous. I know that there's
Yeah.
tons of competition in the West, but I feel like whether or not Harden gets traded, they'll still be in the playoffs. I think if Harden stays, they'll be higher than the 8 seed. If Harden gets traded, I think they'll be around 7, 8, 9, maybe not.
Depending on
Maybe
the
Yeah.
not.
So
package,
all,
they get
so all of
interesting.
our picks is what I'm saying is with the assumption that Harden will be traded, and it will be a John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins. And
But even
whatever.
then, what like if they get like the Nets package of like Karras, I mean Dinwiddie they can't trade now, which kind of sucks for them. Is that I mean that's still probably a playoff team because they're gonna get a decent package. If we're assuming Harden gets traded, we're then assuming that the Rockets get like a decent
Yeah.
like deal out of it.
Unless it just happens to be like mostly picks.
It's going to be a lot of picks and 2 or 3 players.
Right.
It's going to be a
So-
boatload if he gets traded.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't think. I don't know. I don't love DeMarcus Cousins and John Wall as. Like, if James Harden gets traded, I don't love them as like leading that team over teams like the Suns or the Pelicans or the Grizzlies without Ja. We'll see about his injury, but I don't know. We'll see. What's the latest? What's the latest on his whole like? What was the? Didn't he go to strip club too? What's the
Who?
drama on
Who?
that? Harden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the whole latest?
There's
He got
nothing.
fined,
Yeah,
nothing's
he's
gonna
good.
So
happen.
he's just like, so he's good. He's playing. There's no problems.
I
Right.
think he got into a fight with a rookie.
Oh,
Oh, there's that
Interesting.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just there's a
Okay.
lot.
all right.
No one bid on the Suns.
No one.
Well, the Suns are
Oh.
interesting. It's like how
Everyone said they're good
Fuck.
enough to be on the fringe at 9.
Oh,
And we're
fuck,
just gonna leave him
I don't
there.
know why I didn't put them
Well,
over Grizzlies.
when
That was a
you-
mistake.
for the listeners, I mean, we'll just list out the teams that we have. Most of us have like Lakers, Clippers, Nuggets, Blazers, locks. I would say Jazz probably.
I
a
don't
lock.
know. Not
Mavericks,
Clippers, maybe not.
This is when it. This is when it gets a little tricky, though. It's like Warriors. Can they pick it up? Maybe. Jazz. They'll probably be fine. Mavericks, Rockets, Suns, Pelicans, Grizzlies. If they have Ja. That's pretty much
what's
it. I
good
would
with the
say.
Spurs,
Obviously, the
too?
Spurs are starting off pretty nice, but I don't think that they'll make the playoffs.
Yeah.
But like those, what I just listed 11 teams.
And you can talk
11
yourself into
teams.
any of them
Yeah.
getting
Yeah,
into the
exactly.
playoffs.
yeah.
You couldn't, in my opinion, you can't really talk yourself into like any of those being like a top 5.
No.
But being
No.
like an 8 or a 7, I think you can any of those
Easily.
teams, 6, 7, 8 even, any of those teams making it. So it's like I think that they'll all be around like by the end of the season, all be around like 41 and 31. You
Mhm.
know, all of them.
Yeah.
Be a
Yeah.
All, like
clusterfuck.
gonna
like
be
not all of
insane.
those. I mean like the bottom 5 or bottom 6.
Right.
We'll all be within like 5 games of each other. Is what my thought process is.
So we already talked about my finals projections. Josh and Scott, you guys both have Lakers Brooklyn. And Lakers come out on top. Matt, you're the only one that doesn't have. I mean, you and I are the only ones that don't have the Lakers winning. You have the Bucks winning.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about it.
I think it's a big year for Giannis. I think this is when they put it all together.
He's a fucking pussy.
Okay. Wow.
Canceled.
Very heinous attack.
I'm
on
not canceled.
Giannis.
That's
I think
the Tiger Woods
maybe,
quote.
you
Might be
know,
canceled.
I think he's on a mission. Chris Middleton is off to a great start.
Yeah,
He's
really
an
great start.
all-star. Drew Holiday, I think, is a big step up for them. If they can perform in the playoffs, I think this is finally like the year they show up. Another one of my bold takes is Giannis like contains Durant in Eastern Conference Finals. We haven't seen that matchup yet. I'm really excited to see it because I think he's the only guy that has the quickness and the length and just the size to guard Durant and give him at least trouble, you know, to a certain degree. So I'm high in the Bucks, kind of finally piecing it all together.
I think that a lot of teams like typically won't need depth a lot
Right.
of times. If you have like the stars, Drew Holiday, Giannis, Chris Middleton, they still have Brook Lopez.
I mean, they arguably
I
have the best
sanitize
big
that.
three in the league.
yeah, I
I
don't
showered.
think they're deep enough though. And I
The
know that you
Bucks?
don't need it. I don't
Dude,
think I just
their
don't think
bench
they're
is
deep enough.
fucking ass.
Their bench is bad.
It's
Doesn't matter.
bad, bro.
I think it
Oh,
matters.
Their
But they're-
6 and
no, no, no.
7 is bad.
When you consider, when
They'll
you- when
pick
you
up a piece at
consider-
the deadline. They'll
when-
pick
I
someone
know that
up.
we talked about it. The Nets lost Dinwiddie. But when you consider how deep the Nets are, even without Dinwiddie, it does affect them a little bit. I will say, but even without Dinwiddie, they are so deep. And in the playoffs, depth is a little bit different because it's like your stars are gonna play like 40 minutes a game,
Right.
and if they aren't, then you're doing something wrong.
So what happened in this game against the Knicks? Why did they get 20-pieced? Holiday had 8 points. I'm just looking at this. I'm just catching up on basketball.
Just basketball,
news.
dude. I think they just like a trap game, you know?
Yeah. Is it because wait, let's see. Where do I
well,
get
it's
the
weird
Knicks?
because there was also a back-to-back for the Knicks.
Right. You can't even say that the Bucks were like
Yeah.
tired
Maybe
and
they
the
were
Knicks
just
were like
rolling.
fresh.
You know what I mean? That's
Dude, Julius Randle, 29 and 14. Holy fuck! I'm just looking at these right now.
Julius
Alfred
Randle's
Payton.
playing very, very well.
Alfred Payton, that would have been a sick FanDuel play, right?
Yeah.
Alfred
And,
Payton is
and probably Randle.
instead of a fan of the show, he's just like we're fans of the show's a fan of him.
That's
You know?
facts. That's facts.
Huge Alfred Payton
Um,
squad here.
Don't get me wrong. If it's the Nets Bucks Eastern Conference Finals, I'll probably be rooting for the Bucks.
You're
What do
rooting
you think
for the Bucks.
Celtics? So you think the
over
Celtics?
Kyrie
Oh, yeah, probably.
over Kyrie? Yeah. But I think I don't know. I think Kyrie is too good. And if he gets a chance to if Kyrie gets a chance to play LeBron in the finals, there's no way he's not gonna make it, right? He'll go into insane
I
The
don't
mode.
know.
Nets just sound too good. They just look too good. They sound too good.
But we'll see. We'll see.
For
I think
who
it
they
I don't know, dude. I think the Bucks match up with them really well, though.
They might match up with them
They
well,
do
but
with
it's just
Drew
the
Holiday,
like
yeah.
really just the fact that
Chris
they have,
Middleton,
they
bro.
have
Like,
two
who's gonna
whole
guard
lineups,
him?
in my opinion. Like who
Doesn't
guard-
matter.
Who guards Chris Middleton?
Karras.
Karras is a defender. Torian Prince.
I mean, you have Holiday on Irving, which
Wait,
is like
Timothy
you have a great
Luau
defender on him.
Karaut.
And then Middleton, I feel like it might come down to him. I don't like. Can KD guard Giannis?
Yeah.
Or Jared. What about Jared Allen?
I think
Probably stick him on Brook
big
Lopez.
boys.
I think KD
Yeah.
can guard Giannis, but Giannis can't guard KD.
I disagree.
I think
We haven't seen it yet, which is crazy to me.
This is gonna be
You-
sick, bro. Oh my god.
It-
This
it
year,
will
these
be cool.
playoffs,
the
gonna be
big thing
awesome.
for me is that Giannis. There was that whole thing where he wasn't covering star players in the last second of a game, and then the other day was the first time that he steps up and covers Jason Tatum,
knocks it down.
and Tatum knocks down
Well,
like a crazy bank.
Yeah, I don't know if you can put that
Yeah,
on Giannis.
no, but Giannis goes and covers him, and that's all you have in the portfolio of Giannis covering on game-winning possessions, really.
Yeah.
You know, he always
Well,
is.
off the top of our head.
Yeah, but like it's a very small percentage. I mean, you saw back in the bubble. Wasn't
Well,
it
not a
Jim-
lot of stars do that. Like LeBron doesn't guard the best player most of the time anyway. I don't know if you can.
No, but there's always like LeBron isn't the defensive player of the year.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's a good point.
So you look
Well,
at
it is
that.
all, I mean, yeah. No, I don't,
You look at that, and it's like, I don't think he can guard KD. I think KD is just way too skilled. And,
When is their first matchup this year?
Got a lot of
I don't think
stakes
anyone
at
can
that.
guard Kevin Durant.
January 18th.
But like, if there's someone that can,
If there's someone that can, it's him or Anthony Davis. But like even them, I still don't think that they can.
I think KD is.
well, I mean, guarding KD is like a relative term, right? Like,
yeah. You're not gonna,
like it's containing KD. It's like giving up 20 as opposed to like 34.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or having him shoot like 5 for 15 instead of 10 for 15 or whatever.
Yeah.
So we'll see. That's a big matchup. I'm looking forward to seeing.
All right, yeah.
Let's look at our individual stuff. Want to each go around the table and say who we think our MVP is?
Sure.
I have it as Giannis. I don't think KD. I think KD will play enough games to be up there in the MVP talk. But I think with Kyrie, it's like there won't be as much spotlight on just KD solely. I think LeBron and Luka. I think Luka really
Yeah.
is another guy that like has the biggest chance to win it besides Giannis. I think there's a chance right now. I mean, as we see it, like LeBron doesn't look like he'll be like deserving, but in past years, you could make the argument that LeBron was more deserving than Giannis. But right now, you look at it, and Luka is on fire. A lot of people thought Steph was going to win it this year just because he's on his own for the most part, but he's not looking great to start the season. But Luka, I mean, you want that, he'd be one of the youngest MVPs in league history.
Yeah. How old is he?
He's
21 right
yeah.
now. He'll be 22 by the end of the season.
Dude, what the fuck?
But he's a stud, and that'd be another overseas MVP.
Do you have a problem with that?
No,
I just
that's
don't-
awesome.
It
I
has to
just-
be domestic.
I just
Even
don't
does.
see Luka getting there.
Ever.
I think no. He'll get there eventually.
No, yeah.
But I think that this year he's the favorite. I just don't see him winning this year just because purely based on his like team success. And I know Russell Westbrook got it when his team wasn't great, but like so often it's like there's going to be players that have around his stats with better teams.
Yeah, but I think you're the narrative guy.
And
Yeah.
I was going to pick Luka actually.
I picked Luka.
I was going to.
Why'd you pick Luka?
I decided not to.
Same reason.
Well, here's the thing, right? Anyone else that we're looking at that's like basically like in the running, you can say like didn't single-handedly carry a team to the like if we assume the Mavs make the playoffs, like all these teams make the playoffs.
Well, he won't single-handedly carry.
Who else, dude?
Kristaps.
He hasn't. Well, he's coming back when?
January.
But Kristaps is not like the same level as like AD with LeBron, KD, Kyrie, Giannis, Chris Middleton, Lillard, McCollum. Like it's not the same caliber player. Like Kristaps has never won anything, bro. You know?
Yeah, I mean, he still is an all-star at the end of the day.
Is he? Though?
I think that, well, no, he was an all-star.
Right.
He won't probably be an all-star this season. He'll be there again eventually. I will say that like when you say like the single-handedly carried their team.
The
I think
Mavs
that
roster's bad,
a
dude.
player like Nikola Jokic, who I didn't even pick to win MVP.
Mhm.
I think that he can win MVP.
It's crazy we don't talk about him as MVP
I know. I'm actually just I
because his numbers are insane, and the Nuggets are like
well right
usually
now
top
his numbers are
5.
actually better than anyone else's in the entire like.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, other than James Harden, who only played in 2 games, and he's going off right now, and
Right.
so he's gonna end up having ridiculous stats through 2 games. But it's like Nikola Jokic, his stats are also just like ridiculous too. So it's like, I mean, Nikola Jokic, he's the only guy on that team. I
Yeah,
know
he's-
Jamal Murray, but Jamal Murray's not an all-star.
Yeah, I think you can make an argument for Jokic.
Yeah. No, I mean, and obviously you can make an argument for Doncic. He's literally the favorite, the Vegas betting favorite.
Yeah, which
For
I don't
MVP.
like, but
Yeah. I mean, I will say that.
and it's just for the sake of variety. Like
I remember-
Giannis, I feel like it's just like boring now
Chris-
for the MVP.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Chris Broussard said something that I view as bullshit, but it was when LeBron won back-to-back MVPs, and then the next year, when he had the stats, he carried his team. he should have won
That's
it again.
Yeah, but you're just sick of him.
And then Chris Broussard was an MVP vote. He votes because he's part of the media. He was saying that he didn't vote for LeBron James that year because he didn't want to put him. He didn't think that LeBron deserved to be put in that category of back-to-back-to-back
Right.
MVP winners. That is just the most ridiculous
Bullshit,
thing.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. Like if you are the most valuable player in the league, you
Yeah, it's
deserve
just
to
like
win it.
Year by
Whether
year.
or
It's not
not-
with like within the
Yeah.
bigger context of
Yeah.
like legacy.
He's.
or whatever.
I mean, so that was probably like 2012, maybe
something like that.
something like that. So it's like he wasn't at that point yet to be considered like a top 3 player, top 4 player. I guess
Mhm.
he was getting there, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's like, look at other sports like Mike Trout. He wins it like he can win it every year. He pretty much does. I feel like he wins it a lot.
Yeah.
It's like, why not LeBron at that point? But that was that was just like a little
Aside.
side rant
Yeah.
about Giannis and how I mean, I also don't think he's going to have as good of a season as he's been having recently either way. I mean,
Mm-mm.
because Drew Holiday's here now, and
Hopefully he doesn't need
Chris
to,
Middleton
you know?
seems to be. I mean, it's only through 3 games. Seems to be stepping up.
It's just if he can do it in
Yeah.
the playoffs, you know? Like
Yeah.
we know Chris Middleton can do that. It's just a matter of like
He
in a
struggled in the
7-game
playoffs
series.
until that one game where he dropped.
Right.
the
When
50.
Giannis got hurt,
Yeah,
Middleton
exactly.
went off. So
But it looks like now they can share the load.
yeah. I don't know. I'm like all in on the Bucks right now.
Yeah.
So
Let's
who
talk
else?
about the rookies. Well, Scott has Zion in his MVP race.
Yeah, yeah, I'm 5th.
I actually don't hate that, considering
Narrative, everyone loves it, you
Not even narrative, considering the fact that like he. I mean, it's still early in the season, but he could like potentially average like. He could potentially average what, like 28 and 10?
Yeah, if he plays like stays healthy, plays 30 minutes a game.
Now
35.
nowadays is that MVP numbers? No.
No.
Is
You
it
need
in
the
your
assists.
In your yeah, you need the assists. In your second year, would that be MVP numbers? Definitely not. Like in your second year to win
No.
MVP, you need a lot more than
The
that.
bar is like
Yeah.
a lot higher. I
Yeah,
feel
and
like,
like,
than it
I feel like
used
in
to
your
be.
second year as like a power forward, like Zion, to win MVP, you would need like 28, 10, 5 assists, like 3 blocks a game, and like your team would have to be
And,
like,
like,
number 2, number
2
1.
million to charity.
Yeah, something like that.
Extra, like the extracurriculars too. You know, you need the good report card, extracurriculars, volunteer hours.
He already
gotta
has
do it
he
all.
has the media talking about him, so he has that going for him, the narrative. So
Yep.
if he were in the MVP race, he'd probably win it.
I thought it would be a hot take to have Dame top 5, but you guys agree with me.
Well, you and I both had Dame as our scoring champ.
Yeah.
And
that
looking
too.
back at it now, I think I had earlier. I remember mentioning Trey Young, and I was quickly shot down. And looking at it now, Trey Young has a huge chance of being the scoring champ still, in my
You think?
opinion. Yeah, I just think he's
I
gonna.
mean, I could see it. It just depends on
I
which
don't
guy
think
goes
so.
on like
I
a
mean,
crazy
there's
run.
too many. There's
this
too
is the
many
same
people.
guy that shut me down before.
And it's part of the same. It's part of the
Double
same thing
down
I said.
on him, bro.
Part of the same thing I said.
Yeah.
Is there's too many. There's too many people there.
Yeah.
They have Bogdanovich, Huerter. They have
Gallinari,
Gallinari,
Reddish,
Capella,
Hunter.
Hunter. Yeah, like they have.
He doesn't
Rondo,
have to score as much
Who's
as
not
he
going to
used to.
score that much, but like everyone who does score does
God,
just
I'm
like
sorry,
add
guys.
up by the end of the day.
I mean, obviously, it's 3 games into the year, but right now he's averaging 34. He won't maintain that.
Holy shit!
Well, that was only 2 games in.
No, that's with tonight's 29,
What do you have the other games?
37 and 36.
Oh.
oh.
Like I really
Interesting,
in the
Josh.
37 in the first game was in 26 minutes.
I mean, James Harden stays on the Rockets. James Harden's gonna be the scoring champ.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, even if he doesn't,
Well, if he
You
goes to
think-
like the Bucks, he can't be the scoring champ. If he goes to the Nets, he can't be the scoring champ.
yeah.
maybe.
I mean, if he like shot like
I know, but if he
80%.
gets traded, it's probably gonna be like him too, and like KD, Kyrie. They all have to probably will score 30 game, you know,
Holy fuck!
because they don't have anyone
That's
else at that point
honestly
because
so-
they traded for him.
That's a
That'd be-
terrifying
you know,
thought.
we'll see.
All right.
Yeah, let's take a look at the rooks. We all voted all rookie LaMelo and James Wiseman. Everyone agreed on that.
Yeah.
So there's that.
LaMelo.
Wiseman looks to be like pretty much a
Yeah.
lock just from like a usage minute standpoint. LaMelo hasn't played as much as I think we anticipated so far early on.
No, and when he has played, he's looked pretty awful.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah.
I mean,
He had a couple of
Oh,
shiny
Steven
moments.
disagrees.
Steven loves the.
what was that?
He said LaMelo Ball for the win. I don't know. It's this weird
Perfect.
thing he's been saying a lot.
Okay.
Shout out to
perfect.
Anthony Weiner.
I actually think
Aaron.
Ant.
Shit.
Shout out to
Anthony
Aaron Weiner.
I actually think Ant is pretty good.
Yeah, he's
He's your rookie of the year, right?
he's good. I just
Uh,
he doesn't have that pop
Never
to win
mind.
rookie of the year. You know what I mean? Like he's not as. I
Yeah,
think
he
he's
is.
good.
Well, none of these guys are like sexy, you know. And like I mean, like
Oh my
LaMelo's
God.
probably the sexiest in terms of like
Sexy.
flashy.
In terms of body
Guys.
type, I think James Wiseman right now, 3 games in, I think is the safe pick. Just how he's playing. He's starting. He's getting, like Josh says to me, a lot of his good numbers come in garbage time, but he's getting good numbers. And he's
I think
getting good
rookies
runs for
all
now.
numbers pretty much.
Yeah. So these aren't bad.
Yeah, that's
I think
Because
we
none
all-
of them play for any good teams because they're all high draft picks, so you can't even say
Right.
like team success really factors
Right.
in too much, unless they play they somehow get like a decent role on like a playoff team. But I don't think any of these guys.
You guys all had a Coro and you two, Josh and Matt. You guys had a Coro and Vassal.
I sold Josh at Vassal. I think. I don't know.
No, you actually didn't.
That
I
was
actually
independently
Yeah,
of
that
me?
was an independent thing. But I
Well,
regret it now.
He hasn't played the minutes I expected.
Yeah.
But
Well, actually, he did play the minutes.
I mean, he's
for the
played, like,
first 2 games, he played like 20
15,
minutes.
20.
First game, he played like 20 minutes. Second game, I think he
We'll
played
see.
12.
And
maybe.
if they're shopping DeRozan, Aldridge, like trade deadline, like see what if they just kind of go full rebuild, like he'll probably play a lot more
Yeah.
if he has like a really good second half.
I don't really regret Okoro. I think that he'll make, depending on this injury, I guess, but I think he'll make either first or second team. A second
Yeah.
team, I think, would be probably more likely.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I was just picking that based off of his like preseason performance. There's not really much that we could have seen. So at that point, it was just like anyone's guess, in my opinion. And he was looking good in the preseason. He looked good during the first game of the season, and then the second game of the season had one of the worst stat
Yeah.
lines of all time.
Like another rookie we know. Are you talking about Okoro or Vassal?
Okoro,
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, yeah,
gotcha.
Vassal had a
So
great,
not like
great
another rookie we know because
preseason
that was
game.
the
that
rookie
that
we
is the
knew.
rookie we know.
Yeah.
I put Emmanuel quickly in my all rookie team. He had a really cool preseason, but first game he goes in. I remember he had 5 points in 4 minutes, and then he finished with 12 minutes and 5 points. But he hasn't played since the first game. I hope he gets some more run, but I understand that
Alfred Payton's dropping
Yeah.
27 a game.
Alfred Payton,
you know?
if he's playing well and healthy, I understand why he wouldn't be playing. But I do like him, and I think in the future he'll be a cool bench point guard for some
Mhm.
team. But
Scott went Patrick Williams.
for my guy Bobby D.
Patrick Williams is
Enough
actually
said.
looking all right.
Shout out Bobby D.
He's playing.
Yeah, shout out Dom, shout out Bobby D,
Yeah,
Shout
yeah,
out,
Jason
uh,
boys, let's go.
shout out May,
Yeah,
shout
yeah.
out
Matt Hanna.
I don't,
Shout out Matt Hanna. Dude, I did a group project with him.
What were you gonna call him?
That guy, I was just gonna say that guy. How has Pat Williams been looking?
You haven't even looked at his stats. I
10
thought that was an informed decision.
10 points
He's
a-
actually been good. Like
10
I think
points a
you're
game,
you're
bro.
kind of onto
All
something.
right, I'll be honest. I kind of just picked 5 rookies' names that I knew.
Okay.
there we go.
I actually picked Obi Toppin for Brian because I know he loves him.
Well, he got hurt, so he's gonna be out for a little bit.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ain't no stopping Obi
Obi
Toppin
Toppin.
unless you
Except
get
a
hurt.
calf injury.
Yeah,
um,
That's okay though.
I'm pretty
That
sure I just
doesn't
picked
mean
like
anything.
what
Top
number was?
5 picks.
Yeah, what number
Not
was
quite,
Toppin
but-
drafted? 8. I was close.
Yeah, I mean, I think Cole Anthony might be in the running. Just to kind of some of the guys that Jay Sean Tate. I mean, he played a ton in the first game. Halliburton.
Halliburton was a cool pick, but I just feel like
Not enough time. I don't
no.
think. But they're all in the running. I threw in Peyton Pritchard as one of our omissions just because, I mean,
Yeah,
he played great. If he gets those minutes, I mean,
that's an all rookie.
he could be
team
like
guy,
all
yeah.
second.
For rookie of the year. It looks like we either all went LaMelo. Oh, me and Matt again on the
Went
same
LaMelo.
wavelength
Yeah.
with LaMelo, and then Josh, you went with Wiseman, and Scott, you picked Edwards, and you had commented on that earlier.
Yeah.
And Josh, obviously, I think me and Matt might be leaning more towards your Wiseman pick every day now.
Yeah. I don't know.
for now, especially with how well that Terry and
Well, yeah, because
and
Wiseman's
Graham-
gonna get the points. I feel like they'll have similar points, and then Wiseman will have rebounds, and like I think Ant
Yeah.
is more just scoring.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Just
defensively,
won't
Unless
have
he,
a
like-
complete.
I'm just wondering. I was just wondering if if his role would go up throughout the year if he's
Think it probably will.
proven.
And Wiseman, if Warriors are on a playoff run, might have that going for him.
Yeah.
We don't.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't say that, but I think of any of between the Hornets, the Warriors, and the Timberwolves, the Warriors have the best chance of like having some success. So Wiseman might have that
Yep.
on his side.
Yep.
Back to individual. Let's talk defense.
yeah,
Well,
none
everyone,
of us.
no one agreed
Yeah.
on this one. Scott went Giannis, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like the league loves him. It sucks his dick. So
Okay.
and he's a good defender except against Jason Tatum.
Let's go! Come on,
Celtics. Go Celtics.
Daddy.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I felt like that was a good pick.
No, it is.
Odds are high.
Odds are high. And then Brian goes with the perennial winner, Rudy Gobert.
I love Rudy Gobert. Think he's sick. You know, the Stifle Tower.
Both those guys just got paid too.
Yeah, Rudy's just a big block guy. He's won in the past, and I think if he stays healthy, doesn't get the coronavirus, he'll be good. I think it's a safe pick, but also pretty. All right, see you later,
All right.
Steve.
Our intern is fucking
Taking
is
off.
quitting.
Quit. Yeah, I like Rudy Gobert, and then Josh, you picked
Roll the dice.
a guard.
The hometown
A
hero.
traditional guard. Matt, you picked a bigger guard, obviously, but Josh, you went with Marcus Smart, our defensive player of the year. Maybe
Damn
not
right.
Guarantee it.
Whoa.
He's obviously at
I
all-
actually don't guarantee it. He's not going to win it anymore. I mean,
Anymore.
it's a narrative thing. So we already know who the defense player of the year is. I'm joking. I actually have.
I don't know who
I
has
actually
the
have
narrative
no idea.
advantage here.
No, Giannis.
He has the narrative advantage.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. He's like boring though because he already won it.
He's fucking.
Okay,
I-
Kawhi.
I don't know if there's like a science, like a study on that, but there's got to be like something about people like don't vote for the same person twice.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least
Yeah.
even more so 3 times. Yeah, I went Ben Simmons. He gets a lot of steals. Just an overall pretty good rebounding guard.
If he stays
And
healthy,
he's always been like the Sixers are like always one of the best defensive teams against point
Yeah.
guards, and that's who he's covering a lot of times. So
And he hasn't won it yet. He's like a fresh face for that. So
another
We'll
award
see.
that we all went different on is six man. Oh no, we didn't actually.
yeah, I was surprised.
Josh, you and Scott went Jordan Clarkson. Scott, why did you go with
I actually
Jordan
like that
Clarkson?
pick a lot.
I feel like he scores a lot,
He does.
He does.
and I think he has kind of found a home. I feel like we talked about this in an earlier podcast. I feel like he's found a good spot for him in Utah. Again, I'm gonna be honest. I kind of flew through these picks.
Yeah,
But-
no, we you also did it after we started.
Yeah, I'm known to cheat on the Baller Scholar podcast.
well,
But I do
Midnight Man
like
cheats.
Clarkson. I think there's a ton of people who could win this award, but
It's
I
just
went
hard
with
to know like
Clarkson.
who's gonna come off the bench just
I-
in general.
I really liked Levert just because of the
but will
situation.
he? Is he a 6th man?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
he-
now he
Maybe
might
not anymore,
depending-
yeah.
didn't we- Yeah, either of those, whichever one of those guys was going to come off the bench would have been a good candidate. I went Mello.
that's just like
What?
it's just a
Our graphics intern doesn't know how to use a TV.
wishful thinking, you know.
It's a little wishful thinking. It would be a sick.
It would be
narrative.
sick. It would be actually awesome, especially since like he's
Well, okay.
been so against coming off the bench
Right. And
for his entire the past 4
Sixth
years or
Man of
whatever.
the Year is such a weird award too, because it's like a backhanded compliment where it's like you're really good, but like not enough.
Well,
You're like the best.
I feel like that's what it used to be like, but now
I mean,
it's
they're-
like
it's a very
people
important role.
people embrace being the 6th man and would rather be a 6th man than a starter, like
Well,
Lou
'cause-
Will, and I think Lou Will's
well,
kind of
right.
created that.
Well, if you're on a second unit and you're the best player, I think most guys would rather be the best player on a second unit than like third or.
Well, maybe
fourth.
that's why they're extra maybe that's why they're
Right.
good. You know,
Which is very important because you need someone to score in like the second quarter
Yeah.
when it's like
Yeah.
scrub time. But I mean, what Montrezl Harrell won with like 18, 10 a game.
something like that. Yeah.
I don't know. Melo could get hot. I think he could put up 18. Probably won't have the rebounding numbers. But
Once again, it's just like
it's gonna be a
the-
stretch. But listen,
Yeah, I feel like it's just like the same thing
Melo.
with like the mouths to feed kind of thing, where it's like they have, I mean, a potential scoring champ is what we're like labeling Damian Lillard as potentially.
right?
So it's like, could you win 6-man if your teammate is the scoring champ, and like you have and like not only Damian Lillard. I mean, obviously, it's not looking like Damian Lillard's gonna be the scoring champ, just based off the first 3 games. But
A lot of basketball to be played.
I know a lot of basketball to be played. But at the same time, there's CJ McCollum. There's Nurkic, obviously. Then there's so many young guards on that team. There's,
I mean, Rocco coming in, Rodney Hood.
yeah.
You're right. There's an argument against him. That's pretty strong. But
I actually
listen,
I like the
there's-
pick
there's
though.
always
It's
a
a
sense
fun
of,
pick, you know.
Six man
chaos,
is always
you
a
know?
fun award. I like the players
yeah,
that go that become 6 men, sixth men's.
Yeah.
Good job.
Thanks.
Most-
Most improved. We
yeah.
all picked someone different. Matt, start with yours.
yeah.
Wow.
I went Kobe White
Colberius White.
because I think like if you were to guess, what would you guess Kobe White average points was last season?
last season
12.
14.
9.
Okay, wow. I thought you'd go higher. 13. I figured he.
Well, he
could,
just started off like not.
Yeah, like
playing
his
at all,
numbers
so.
aren't as. Even though he went off for like a couple of 30-point games,
Yeah.
I figure in a starting role he could get up to around like 17, 20.
He's a great player, actually.
So I figured like that point increase would be big for him. Just bigger role. But I don't know. I like Christian Wood a lot. I think that's a good pick. Talk about it, Josh.
That wasn't
That
his
wasn't
pick.
mine, yeah.
That was actually
Talk
mine.
about it, Brian.
It's weird because Josh says that's his guy and then goes with Lonzo Ball.
Well,
Well, that's why-
because
that's why I
Christian
thought it was
Wood's.
him.
I hate to go against you, Brian, but I mean,
You always do.
You don't think Christian Wood?
no, I don't think he's gonna be able to make that. I mean, they have DeMarcus Cousins. He might not even be starting. Christian Wood. That doesn't mean you can't
Maybe
win
he's
it,
sixth
but
man then.
possibly. Yeah.
I think he's gonna win it hands down. Lock.
Our fucking intern
How-
is being a piece of shit in the back. Hey, for all you interns out there, I used to be an intern once, but then I got fired.
Christian Wood.
Please rehire him. Please give this guy a job.
Hey, if
Please
anyone
get
from
some
Laxey is listening to this, I did your entire fucking website for nothing.
Christian Wood does average 31 points a game.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
31 and 13 right now. Christian Wood could be that boy.
But you went with Lonzo.
What is H?
I would
What is
Lonzo.
H?
I like that.
Oh,
I went
honorable mention.
Lonzo strictly on narrative. Actually, I think that I'm looking for the person with
His
the
dad is
narrative.
gonna hack into the votes.
Media's always all over him, and if he were to average 3 more points, 2 more assists than last season, which would be 9 actually, which would be pretty good. I just feel like the media would be over him. I feel like at the same time though, if you look at his stats from last year, which were 11.8, 7 assists, 6.1 rebounds, how much better could he do? And what would because I feel like the improvement would be coming from most of the time improvement
His
comes from like
points.
points, and he wouldn't really. I don't see him getting more than 7 and 6 assists and rebounds. So it's like, I think that's not that great of a pick anymore. Looking back,
I think
but
it'll be a tight race. And Jamal Murray.
someone always comes out
Yeah.
of nowhere.
Yeah, usually
I-
someone kind of random.
I'm just thinking about, I don't know. I'd like to think that Jamal Murray could have a similar story to last year's most improved Brandon Ingram. You know, go from, like become a first-time All-Star. Maybe I think if he can get over the hump and become an All-Star, I think that's enough to say he's most improved. Just because that helps his narrative. But we'll see. We'll see how
Jamal Murray, by the way, off to a rough start.
He
Yeah.
hasn't done great.
Well, I basically just based it off of his last year's bubble
Well, no,
Which
he
is what I think a
definitely has shown
lot
he
of-
can do it, and
I
he
think that's-
probably will.
I think that's what a lot of people. I think that's actually.
He was one of the.
I mean, I know we've talked a lot about
frontrunners.
these narratives today, but like that's a great pick for like a narrative kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if I from like my thoughts on Jamal Murray are that he's good, not great, and I don't even think he's gonna be an all-star. But I think that
like
people
ever or
Yeah.
no
just
no
this year?
I don't know. It's actually tough. I don't see how much better he's gonna be doing like in like the rest of his
Right.
career.
Well, Jokic takes up a lot of just possessions. you
yeah,
know?
I mean Jokic plays point
Yeah. So
a lot of the time. So
Wait, he's had a fine start to the season. His last 2 games are 23 points and 21 points. It's
yeah,
fine.
but you know, look at the shooting.
The Kings game? Oh, the shooting?
and they've lost both games, which is tough.
Hmm.
Wait,
but-
who are you talking about? I'm
Murray.
talking about Jokic.
You were saying Murray had a rough
Well, his-
start to
no,
the
his-
season.
Jamal Murray's first 2 games were like terrible.
He had 23 points against the
He had
Clippers.
23 and 9 the other in the first game. 23 points.
Yeah, this is the
One
first
of
game
9
the season,
shooting.
bro.
That's not an excuse.
He then
He's
shot 9
nervous.
for 20.
Yeah, I mean 9 for 20 is like not like
It's not
anything.
I wouldn't
great,
consider
but
it
it's
a
not
tough
terrible.
start to the season. That's not how I consider it.
I mean tonight.
Tonight he shot 4 for 6 from downtown, 7 to 14, 21 points.
Yeah, it's not terrible, but
And they won, right?
yeah,
They're
they
about to.
dominated.
So we'll see.
Well, 21 and I mean yeah, fine. But
You can't look at the first 2 games of the season and
I mean
predict
obviously
the,
he's gonna get back to
yeah.
where he usually is. I don't see him getting 24 points a game, 23 points a game. And I think that's what you need in the
Mm.
West to be an all-star. If that's what we're
Mm.
even talking about anymore. If whether or
Well,
not he's an
yeah, I mean,
all-star
I
or
don't
not.
be- Yeah, I mean, do you have to be
Wait,
an all?
what?
I don't know if you have to be an all-star to be most improved. I think it would help. I mean, Ingram definitely was.
You don't have
Yeah.
to be.
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
you
think any
definitely
of these
have
guys that we have will be all-stars probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Jamal
right.
Murray might have the best shot at it, but
We
to. Interesting. We
Hang out around.
all picked except Matt from the West, players from the West.
I went East,
And I feel like
East Coast.
East is would be like the place where we're more
because they have more of the
because they have like
worst teams.
Yeah, the worst teams. And when like the worst teams have like those players that like I feel like it's like the second and third year players.
Like an
Oftentimes-
overperforming bad team like Ingram with the Pelicans, like fits that. Who else
Yeah.
is most improved?
DeJounte Murray
Pascal.
with the Spurs.
Yeah.
DeJounte Murray, that would be a good pick.
I could see it. He had a triple double.
Looking at it right now, Josh, you picked Rob Pelinka. I mean, you picked Sean Marks for Executive of the Year. Why do you think that? Because a lot of
gonna-
his moves were.
They're gonna
Pick
get
two?
they're gonna get James Harden.
Oh, okay.
They're gonna win a
The
championship,
Nets.
and
GM.
then that's it. And I actually don't have
It
them
says
winning
Rob
a championship,
Pelinka.
so that goes against my other thoughts. But
Josh
and
picked
then
Sean
the
Marks.
rest of us picked Rob Pelinka, except for Scott. He just, you know,
He left that part blank.
yeah.
Actually,
fine.
there's something in there if you go now.
Wow, you just caught up. Thanos,
Thanos,
from the
yeah,
United
okay.
States. Okay. Gino GRD's nephew's name is Thanos.
No.
Yeah,
Holy
Yeah, that's
shit.
not real.
I didn't know.
That's gonna be my kid's
Apparently, it's a
name.
big Greek thing. I don't know.
Thanos.
Coach of the Coach
Sorry.
of the Year, me and Matt, we picked Steve Nash. I think it's it goes with everything we've said so far. That's a great team. And Josh, you picked Terry Stotts, which is really
Tough name.
an interesting pick. And then Scott, you picked Doc Rivers, which is also interesting. But I understand there's hopeful thinking that he would turn it around in Philadelphia. But Josh, why would you pick Terry Stotts?
because they almost didn't make the playoffs, and I'm thinking strictly from my thoughts, that.
Glad you're thinking
Thank you, thank you.
Smells like beef.
Daddy.
I'm thinking that they will
They smell like beef.
make the playoffs, obviously.
Yep.
But I think they're going to be like a 3 or 4. I think they're way better than. I think people think that they're actually very good. So I don't think they're way better than people think.
But,
But I think
they'll
that
take a big jump.
I mean they have Nurkic this
Yeah.
season. And I think that's really all it comes down to. And
This guy
That's-
Jordan's gonna kill himself.
Oh my gosh, Steven is hanging from the sliding door.
Holy shit.
That's what I think's the difference, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we just, not much explanation. Do we want to just run through our
Yeah, we gotta
leaders,
wrap this up.
and then we can, we can play a couple of games after.
Maybe just do draft.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh, we're drafting still.
I mean,
Oh, this is gonna take so long.
we have to, right? 'Cause
Really
I'm
quickly.
leaving.
Yeah.
Or unless you, if
We just
if
vote
we
you
either,
out.
how about we just run what?
What?
Wouldn't it just be like 15 minutes? Let me just be like a short segment.
Why aren't
to
we just
talk
done?
about
Why
the
don't we just be
first-
done with this? We don't have to
our
talk
first
about
Scoring
like,
champ, James Harden.
rebound.
Yeah, that's fine. It'll just be for us.
Yeah.
We can talk about.
Wait,
I
it.
fucked up with
wait,
Hassan
wait.
Whiteside, though. I'll say that immediately. He's not playing very much for the Kings, even though he puts up
He's
great
on the
numbers.
fucking Kings. I forgot about that.
Return to sender.
Wait, I will just want.
So,
I
that's
just want to
tough,
say,
but
free
not gonna
throw
happen.
percentage leader. My pick, Brad Wanamaker, 2-time. That shit stink, don't it?
All right.
Brad
In this
that a lot.
NBA 2020-2021 season prediction episode of the Baller Scholar podcast was brought to you by FindingBigfoot.com, the website that has proof of Bigfoot. Also brought to you by Manscaped and Landshark.
Wait,
Find
where's our
your
Manscaped
island.
package?
What?
We're supposed to
Where's
be
your package?
reviewing Manscaped.
Yeah, Manscaped is gonna be.
I did it. You guys didn't get it.
I never got that. email.
Yes, the Rough Rider, the Weed Whacker for your nose.
My balls have been begging me to stop
Um,
for years.
Okay,
All right.
here we go.
That's a wrap.
Let's fucking go.
Support your troops.
Support your troops.
All right, and we're
Especially-
signing off for this episode of the BSP.
P.
Oh.
Oh no, I'm so stupid. Record our fantasy draft, or we just do it raw?
You just listened to another episode of the Baller Scholar Podcast.